Okay, so for my capstone, I decided to analyze voting data in the province of Alberta because Alberta is where I live. And frequently I would hear that, yes, Alberta is a conservative province, so I decided to make this data quantitative instead of just qualitative. So I chose the two parties, the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party, although you could add as many parties as you want to expand this capstone. And I just picked these two parties because they're the most standard. And as you can see, I took the years 1917 to 2015, so roughly a century. And I did this because Alberta has a kind of weird history with their conservative parties. Two of them merged like right after 2015, so that's why I decided to take this time period specifically. And analyzing voting data is extremely important in many aspects. Firstly, you can see over time, like if people shift from being more left-leaning to being more right-leaning, and you can use this information in many ways. For example, you can see what sort of reaction from the public certain policies will evoke. You can see which parties are more likely to win. Like if they have a trend of gaining support, you can probably predict whether they'll win or lose, or at least how many seats or how many of them get elected. And you can use this data in really valuable ways. So I decided to quantify this. And you don't have to do this for just provinces, you could do this for the country. I've just personally converted the data into a CSV file myself, so I could have picked any sort of voting data. Yeah. So first I loaded this into a table, as you can see. The headings are just how many nominated, how many elected, votes received, and percentage of vote for both the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party, just because those are the two main parties in Canada. And yeah. I imported some tools from Bokeh. I also used pandas for this. And I first did a line graph as an example. A double line graph of just how many were elected. And as you can see here, I added more functions for better readability. I have like different labels. You can see the year and how many specific seats, which is really helpful, not only if you're looking for not only the overall trend, but also the specific information. And yeah, Bokeh comes with a lot of other features, like on the side. You can move it around and whatever. Yeah. And for the next graph I also did a, a bar graph. And as you can see here, I just decided to format it this way because there's lots of parties in Alberta that aren't the Liberal or Conservative parties, just because I didn't do all of them. You could just see with the peaks, the total amount of people who voted for each of the Conservative and Liberal Party. And it's quite easy to differentiate where the line ends because it's split red and blue. And yeah, for example, you can see although the Conservative and Liberal parties combined had around the same number of votes here, this one was overwhelmingly Liberal and this one was overwhelmingly Conservative. And you can see different trends like that. Like here, they started garnering many of the votes, whereas here, other parties also had many votes. So those are two examples of ways you can analyze this data, and it doesn't only have to be the elected ones. You could also plot the other data. I just did this as an example, and this is really helpful to analyze both the overall trend and the specific numbers. And yeah, you can also click on the lines if you want to see individual ones, so that also helps analysis if you want to look at the trend of one in particular. So yeah, my capstone basically just analyzes political data and helps predict future political occurrences, like which party wins next, or sees the population's political shifts. Thank you.